Hi, I'm Sheli Fulcher Koontz. I'm a founding member of the law firm of Hansen St, and today I want to talk to you about child support. Child support is calculated differently in pretty much every state. Idaho in particular uses certain variables to determine how much somebody pays in child support. One of the variables is the number of overnights that the child spends with each parent. Okay, the court looks at whatever schedule that you and your soon-to-be ex-spouse have come up with, and they determine how many overnights does one parent have, how many overnights does the other parent have. That goes into the child support calculating software. Another variable that's used in that software are the incomes of each parent. Income in Idaho is a very wide definition. It can be your W-2 wages if you're employed by somebody. If you're self-employed, you're generally looking at gross receipts, you're subtracting out reasonable expenses, you're taking some deductions that are allowed under the Idaho child support guidelines. Income also can be from a number of different sources. If you are a student and you have student loans and you're living off some of those student loans, that living stipend can be counted as child support. If you're receiving benefits of any kind, workers' compensation benefits, veterans benefits, things like that, those can all be added together to determine your income for calculating child support. The income rule is governed by the Idaho Child Support Guideline Rule 120, and there is a long list of everything that can be considered income. If you have a second job, that can be included in your income depending on your circumstances of your primary job. So income is a big factor that goes into the child support calculation. If you aren't somebody that has employment, the courts typically, or the guidelines, will look at imputing or assigning an income to you based on your education, training, prior work experience. The third variable that goes into calculating child support is who qualifies to take either the child tax credit on their state and federal income taxes or potential dependency exemptions. So those three variables, income, overnights, and tax benefits, all go into calculating that amount. And that will determine what somebody pays in child support. So you may find yourself in a position where you want to change your child support. In Idaho, to change child support, you have to have what's called a substantial and material change of circumstance. What does that mean? Sometimes just a change in somebody's income is enough to trigger a modification. Some people will waive child support, have no child support order. Child support is never truly waivable. If there's a substantial change that occurs, a party can seek a recalculation of child support or an order for support that was never previously there. But it does require substantial material change. So an increase in income, a loss of income, all of those potentially can get you over the hurdle to modify your child support. If you have questions about calculating or modifying child support, most county courthouses are going to have a court assistance office that can help you run those calculations and answer questions about that. They don't give legal advice, but they can at least help you determine the numbers. Idaho Child Support can also be helpful on their website, and obviously you can always call and ask an attorney questions about child support.